Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Motivation. I'm the new age entrepreneur, Victor Simmons, and this daily show is about life, entrepreneurship, and marketing. Today's episode is called Overcoming Obstacles in Your Life. Hello there. So good morning to you all. I hope everyone had a good start of the week. Yesterday was Monday. I'm a calculations guy, so yesterday started the third week of this new year. Right. So, we only get 52 weeks in a year. So, I don't know. To me, I think it's important to really calculate our time, because if we let time get away from us, then we think like all of a sudden we have, all the time in the world. And if you think you have all the time in the world, guess what? Nothing ever gets accomplished because you keep putting stuff off. Because why? Because you have all the time in the world. I just got word this morning that, one of my friends from high school passed away. And I just remember seeing him last year, and, we were catching up, and, it was just kind of telling each other about what's going on in our life. And, it's telling me about his son and, the different stuff that he's going through with, his son. And, of course, I'm telling him about my kids and my family and everything. And I just remember, after we left, or right before we were about to leave, we're just kind of talking about how, we got to do it again. And he didn't live too far away from me. And, we were planning on going out and, maybe, having a drink or something after work one day and just, catching up again, because we had such a good time catching up with each other, and then, I get word this morning that he passed away, and I don't know, when someone passes away, instantly, I don't know about you, but instantly my mind goes back to, a memory. Goes back to probably even the last time you saw him, or maybe one of your favorite or fun memories and stuff. And of course, mine went back to just, recently last year and seeing him. And, it just makes me realize, especially as we get older, we don't have all the time in the world, right? So what are we doing with our life right now? And that's why today I want to talk about overcoming, life's obstacles, okay? Overcoming obstacles in your life. And we're all going to be met with that, right? We're all going to be met with that wall that stands in our way from what we actually want to accomplish. Period. It's the truth. Because if there was no wall, then everyone would just be living their ideal life and, it'd be pretty easy. But that's not the way it works, right? You live in this world too. That's not the way that it works. If you really want something, guess what you are met with? You're met with resistance. You're met with obstacles. You're met with walls or hurdles, whatever you want to call it, that you have to overcome in order to get that life that you want, in order to get that body that you want, in order to get that dream, that you want, or, whatever you're trying to accomplish. You have to overcome obstacles. But keep this in mind. Everyone who is living their ideal one life, everyone who has what you want, everyone who is successful, whatever success is in your eyes, had to overcome an obstacle, right? And I guess when it comes to overcoming your obstacle, you got to think, okay, well, how bad do I want this thing? How bad do you want to have that rock solid body, right? How bad do you want to lose that weight? How bad do you want to, quit that job that you dread going to, right? Because obstacles means that it is resistance to what you're trying to get. And you got to push through it, or you're going to keep being on the other side of that obstacle, which is where you don't want to be, because, well, you wouldn't be watching this. You wouldn't be striving for more if your life was perfect and you're happy with where you are. The reason that we keep moving forward and striving for something and getting past these obstacles is because you want what's on the other side. But now you got to think, what are you willing to do to bust through it? right? Now, there's been plenty of obstacles in my life. Some I've busted through, some I didn't. And the ones that I didn't are the ones that I guess I really didn't want it bad enough. And then the ones that I have busted through, I guess I really wanted it bad enough. I think you will figure it out. You will figure out how to get through that wall, how to jump over that hurdle or bust through that obstacle if you really want it bad enough. And so here are a couple of things that you can do when you are faced with that obstacle in your life. Number one, I think, is remembering your why. Why do you want to bust through that obstacle, right? I think that's the first and foremost, right? If you remember your why, and if you can just take time to close your eyes or just get in the mindset of why do I really want to bust through that, and then start feeling that energy of what it will feel like once you get through it, and just kind of being in the moment of the pain that you're feeling right now as you're on the other side, right? I think pain can push us through so many things, right? Pain, fear is a pain, regret is a pain. So, you can play on either side, right? You can play on the side of pain, which is maybe more of the negative side of thinking like, okay, man, if I don't do this, what pain is it going to cause in the future? All right. Sometimes pain can motivate people. I know it's motivated me in the past. Or you can think on the positive side, and you can think about the feelings that you're going to feel once you accomplish it. And that can motivate people as well. Either way, I think both of them can be a strong motivating factor when it's time to bust through the wall. Okay. And really, I think that's the number one thing. I mean, it is absolutely, for me, the number one thing. So let me give you an example from my life, right? There was a time a few years ago where we were living in a small town, and I wanted to get my daughters out of that town, right? And my wife told me for years, I have daughters, and, my wife is, always trying to protect them and their feelings and different stuff that I might not be able to comprehend as a male, which is lovely, right? But I remember she said that we wouldn't be able to move once the girls got to a certain age, right? And I put it off. I'm like, yeah, they're going to be fine. It doesn't really matter. But I remember up to that last year, when it was time, like my wife was like, listen, if we don't move now or at the end of this year, I don't want my kid to start a new school, when she's starting middle school. Boom. Everything inside of me shifted. Right. Everything inside of me changed, because now this obstacle that was standing in my way of, getting out of this town, which kind of had like a negative hold on me, and trying to get to, the next step, the other community that was bigger, that was better, that was more expensive, that was just been out of my reach for so many years. But soon as my wife made me realize, like, man, we only have 1 year, everything changed. Everything shifted. Now, all of a sudden, instead of me, just kind of going through the flow and thinking I had all the time in the world, I realized that everything was going to, time was going against me. And I started feeling the pain, the regret, the fear, the anxiety that, was holding me back. And now all of a sudden, that obstacle that I thought was so big to overcome, my pain was deeper, thinking that my daughters were going to be in this place where I didn't think they had the best opportunities to really spread their wings and fly. I started feeling like, man, I would be a terrible dad if this happened. I would regret it for the rest of my life. This window is closed. So what am I going to do? And then all of a sudden, folks, I busted through. All of a sudden, those obstacles seemed like nothing compared to what, if I didn't get through them, my life would be. Right. So I use that energy to push through those obstacles and push through the pain. And, it made it happen. Right. It's a beautiful thing when you make up your mind. I made it happen. And now it's a few years later and I'm going through the same thing, right? Because we keep growing as human beings. We don't want to stay the same. You don't want to keep getting what you've always gotten. That's the beauty of life. You keep busting through obstacles. You keep going and going and going. And then one day you can settle down and look back at your life and you can kind of marvel at some of the things that you've done. But when you're in the moment, all you're doing is focusing on maxing your potential, getting through obstacle after obstacle, because you want to see what you can be on the other side of that. Don't stay on the other side because you're scared of working hard, or you're scared of what other people might think, or what if you fail or you can't push through. Don't stay on that side. Focus your life on getting through that stuff, and I promise you who you want to be and the life that you want to have and the excitement that you will have is on the other side of that obstacle. Okay, so hopefully you guys are feeling me today. For those out there who this message really hit home and you're looking for, someone to help you push through your obstacles, or a group of people who are of like mind and who are pushing through their own life obstacles, contact me, right? We need to associate with people of like mind. Don't fall in the trap of thinking that, this is the way that it's always been and this is the way that it's always going to be. You have to connect with people who are pushing forward, and that will give you the energy to push forward as well. You don't have to be alone. And like always, contact me. This is what I'm about. This is who I am. This is my mission on earth. And I love to associate with people who feel the same way. All right. So enjoy your Tuesday. This is Victor, the New Age Entrepreneur. It is January 17, 2017. Make it a great day. Until next time, take care. Be well.